welcome back. I know you guys are all like, where the have you been? And if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I have been in Cancun for the last 2 weeks because my baby sister just got married. Yay! I was the maid of honor and I planned the whole wedding. So a bitch was a little busy. So sorry if I forgot about you guys. But I am back, and this week I have a really, really interesting story for you guys. If you guys can see by the title, it is called No Reception, Rosie, and you will find out what that is all about in a minute. So grab your popcorn, grab your shit, let's get to it. Missed you motherfuckers. So No Reception, Rosie is a story about a close family member whose name I will remain anonymous. Rosie is not the real name. However, if you do know me and you know my family, this person will be really easy to figure out who it is. And if you don't, then it's just a story about a random hoe named Rosie. Anyway, so because of the wedding and because I had been in wedding mode, I thought, oh, what a perfect story to tell this week that has to do with a wedding, right? So the story dates back to so in my first cousin, hey Natasha, what's your bitch? Hey Shamir, what's poppin'? That's her husband. My cousin Natasha got married. I am half Indian. For those of you guys who don't know, my mom was born in India, raised in LA. That's why she's a little ghetto. But I am 50% Indian. So my first cousin Natasha is full Indian. So she had a traditional Indian wedding, which for those of you who don't know, usually is multiple events. So it's not just like a wedding and reception like an American ceremony. It is like a whole extravaganza. It's like 5 days long. It's like the party of the week, right? It was such an amazing experience, such an amazing thing to be a part of. And I'm so glad that I got to experience it. So one of the first events of the wedding was what we call a sangeet. So a sangeet is when everybody comes and pretty much dances for the bride and the groom. And, it's kind of like entertainment. So at the events, it was an open bar. So, that can get a little tricky. People can get real toasted and roasted off of the free drinky drink. So Rosie, she's leaning, right? She's taking shot after shot after shot. Nobody's really tripping. Everybody's having a great time. But, it wasn't until one of my cousins who are from India came up and was like, Rosie's really drunk. You might want to get her. So I look over and Rosie's like she's gone. Like there is no, barely standing, swaying, room is moving. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take Rosie back to the room. So I had to wheelchair Rosie out of the sangeet. So our main concern at this point was just getting Rosie back to the room without any of our family members realizing that she's drunk as a skunk and, had a little too much. So we literally had to wheelchair her up to the room. Now, no harm, no foul. She's laughing. She's happy. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I did this. We're laughing about it like, girl, it's okay. Happens to the best of us, right? Now, for those who drink knows that it can go from 0 to 100 real quick, right? So 1 minute you can be happy and, joyous and laughing. And the next minute you can be enraged and turning into a motherfucking demon. So that's what happened. I'm wheelchairing Rosie up to the room. I'm about to lay her down and I'm about to go back to the party and boogie, right? But in the room, I don't even know or recall what happened to set her off, but I want to say that she called somebody a bitch, and I had said, hey, don't say that, be nice, or something along those lines. And she just got up from her wheelchair, and it was World War motherfucking 3. I've never seen no shit like this. Like, my first thought when she got out of the wheelchair was, bitch, I just wheelchaired your heavy ass all this way and you could walk the whole time? Because she was up, strong legs, like, you know, no swaying, no leaning. She had a good firm stance on the ground. And she was like, fuck you guys, fuck everybody. You're always against me. You're always defending her over me because I had said, hey, don't call her a bitch. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what the fuck happened? Like, you know, and she's just like, I'm out of here. I'm going home. So she starts like tearing up the fucking room, looking for her car keys. Mind you, valet has her car keys because the bitch valet. So she's just knocking things off. It's like a movie, like knocking things off the fucking counters, flipping the mattresses. And I'm like, oh my God, like this girl has lost her mind. And I'm thinking we're in this nice, classy place. They're going to call security on our black asses. So I call my mom and I'm like, yo, Rosie is tripping. You need to come get her because I can't really control her, right? She has on this nice, expensive Indian outfit that does not belong to her. By the way, we borrowed it from our aunt because, you know, them shits be like $1,000 a piece, and then like even more for the good ones. So she's like ripping it off of her, and I'm like, bitch, you better not rip that dress. We're gonna have to pay for that, you know? So she's like ripping off her dress. Like it was like The Exorcist. Like I had never seen it. Like everyone's trying to like grab her and calm her down. She's like, no. Yeah, get off me. And I'm like, oh my God, demon, right? So finally, of course, security comes and they're like, what's going on? So security had seen us wheeling her up. So security had knew she was lit. She was like, you know, a little drunk, you know, so security had already known that she was late. He was like, what happened? Like, I thought she was on her way to sleep. I'm like, I thought she was too. I don't know. Something just erupted in her and now she can walk. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why she had me pushing her if the bitch can walk. But anyway, so she's just like going off like a monster. Like, I swear, like body slamming my brother, body slamming my sister's fiance. Like, it was crazy. Like, it's like everybody's trying to get her and she's like, so we finally get her out the dress because that was like our main concern. I was like, get this bitch out this dress before she rips this shit. And she somehow gets past the security guard and she's running down the hallway with just her freaking girdle on and like fucking titties out, like fucking just. And I'm like, girl, get your ass in this motherfucking hotel before our family sees you and we be the laughing stock of the family reunion for years to come. We're already the black sheep because we the black ones, right? Like literally the black sheep because we're the only ones in the families that are mixed with African American and everybody else is Indian. My mom, you know, went the other way with it. But I'm like, bitch, stop embarrassing us. This is a classy place. This is a nice event. Get your ass in the house, right? So we get her back in the room and just put her on the first thing that we could find. And it's like this dress that is like 10 times too small. Like it's like cutting off her circulation, like barely fits, like, you know. So it wasn't long until the police came because she was making so much noise. Come and they're like, what's the ruckus? Like, and we, you know, they can see that she's erratic. She's still going off. Give me my keys. I want to go home. So the police tell us, like, you know, there's really nothing you guys can do to keep her here. If she wants to go home, she can go home. She just can't drive. Like, she can take an Uber. She can find a means of transportation, but you guys can't hold her here. So we're like, okay. So she storms out the door with her little tiny dress that don't fit and no shoes. And she grabs her bag and she's on her merry way, right? So we're like, cool, like we're just all gonna woosah and we're just gonna relax and we're just, you know, she's gonna Uber home. Like the police officer had assured us that she was not gonna be allowed to drive. So, okay, so I go down to the valet, I think to get something out of my sister's car, and I see Rosie sitting in the back of a police car. And I'm like, what the fuck happened. She had only been down there for maybe 10 minutes. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And the police officer informs me that she pushed him, or she assaulted him. She pushed him, socked him, something. So they arrested her ass, and Rosie went to jail. We tried to like reason with the police. We tried to like, please don't take her. My cousins from India ended up seeing her and offered to pay, some money to let her out of jail. I'm like, they don't do that out here. Like, you know what I mean? That might work in India, but not out here. And she's still in the back of the car going off, take me to jail, lock me up. Like, she didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, bitch, shut your ass up. And she's like, I don't give a fuck, take me to jail. The police. I'm like, okay, all right. So they take her ass to jail. So the next morning she calls and she does not know what happened. She's like, where am I? Like, I don't have any shoes on. It's cold. This dress don't fit, right? And I'm like, bitch, do you not remember anything that happened last night? She's like, no, like what happened? So I told her, and she felt so bad. Like she was really remorseful. So like I said, the events of the wedding, that was like the first event of the wedding. She missed the second event because she was locked up. And the third event was the wedding itself. Or maybe that was the fourth event. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of motherfucking events. Moral of the story is she came and attended the wedding. And then the next night was the reception. And she just never came back for the reception. Now, it's just really disappointing when close family members don't attend something as important as a wedding, because a lot of money goes into it. It's a once in a lifetime thing, and it's the day that you can never really get back. So she missed the reception. Everyone was really hurt behind that, especially because the night of the reception, going into midnight of the reception, it was her birthday. So at midnight, they had done like a special shout out, like played her favorite artist over the stereo, just trying to make her feel special and include her in the birthday. And then that's when everybody realized that she wasn't there. So she got a lot of shit for that, right? So fast forward to my sister's wedding, which was on February 2nd. And, we just kind of was like, Rosie, okay, so you're not going to drink any alcohol because we don't want a recap of Natasha's wedding, right? So, prior to the wedding, she had agreed, like, I'm not going to drink. Like, I don't want to mess anything up. Like, I don't want nothing to be my fault. So we're like, cool. So the day of the wedding, we're getting ready, we're doing hair and makeup, she's a part of the wedding party, which is my fault because I begged my sister to make her a part of the wedding party, although it was not the bride's wishes. Now, she's taking back shots while we're doing hair and makeup, and I'm like, Rosie, I thought we weren't gonna drink, and she's like, fuck you, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me, I'm grown. That's what pisses me off, is when people try and tell me what to do when I'm grown. So I'm like, and even the bride said, Rosie, can you please not drink? She said, don't tell me what to do. So by the time it was time to walk down the aisle, Rosie was toasted. She couldn't even walk. She could barely stand up straight. She was just leaning. She just, was just drunk. And, of course, it's not about her. So we all just were paying attention to the bride because that is who matters, right? So all goes well. The ceremony is beautiful. The ceremony was beautiful. The location was beautiful. The decor was beautiful. But we had the ceremony at like 5 p.m. So when we were taking pictures, we were losing sunlight, right? So Rosie goes up to the bride and says, hey, can I take a picture with you? And the bride says, not right now, because we need to get some pictures of the groom and I because we're losing light. So Rosie fucking storms off. She fucking storms off. Fuck this. You don't want to take a picture with me. Storms off, makes a big old scene, and just goes on the beach and is on her phone. So while we're taking pictures, I asked her like, hey, are you going to come to the reception? Because it's right over there. She's like, fuck you, leave me alone. So I'm like, all right, bitch, you ain't gotta tell me twice. Like, you ain't about to upset me on my sister's special day, so boo. Like, you know, but in my mind, I'm like, she's gonna come. Like, she has to come, right? Like, this is like once in a lifetime. Like, we're never gonna get this day back. She's not gonna act a fucking ass today, right? No reception. Rosie strikes again. She never showed up to the wedding reception. Like, she's 2 for 2. I ain't even gonna invite the bitch to my wedding because she ain't gonna come. Like, literally floored. Literally cannot believe she did this. Like, and what's so crazy and ironic is when we were doing hair and makeup, because my mama was acting an ass earlier in the day, it has fucked some shit up. She was joking, saying, oh, I thought it was gonna be me. I'm so glad it wasn't me that messed everything up. And lo and behold, at the reception, everybody's like, where's Rosie? Where's Rosie? You know, and everybody is just like, what can you do but shrug and say, I don't know, because it's not about Rosie. It's about the bride and the groom. Typically, we wouldn't rate this type of behavior on the ain't shit-o-meter, but I feel like ain't shit comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, and behaviors. And I feel like this behavior deserves to be rated on the ain't shit-o-meter. For you to miss 2 very important wedding receptions, not a birthday party, bitch, wedding receptions, that's pretty much a big deal. So I'm going to give Rosie on an ain't shit-o-meter a 10. I'm giving my first 10 to Rosie because you ain't shit. And Rosie, you a motherfucking 10. And I hope you get your shit together. So that is my story. I thought it was a perfect time to tell it, considering the wedding had just passed and she struck again. You know what I mean? We will see, you know, when my other cousin gets married next year, if, you know, she'll be 3 for 3. Anyway, maybe he just shouldn't invite her. Anyway, so yes, that is my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video so that we can get my channel popping, so that we can increase the algorithm and more people can see this video. I will see you next week, guys. Okay, bye.